Well, it's time to start defending a championship. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Alongside Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown, I'm your host, Buddy Pearson. Well, after playing 3 non-conference games, the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles officially begin defending their 2011 Ohio Valley Conference Championship as they travel to Cape Girardeau, Missouri on Saturday to take on the Red Hawks of Southeast Missouri. Coach, are you ready for some OVC play?
You know, buddy, it's been a fun non-conference run, and we've done well and had some good moments, and I think we've learned a lot. But it's time. It's time to jump in there now and defend the championship with a lot of folks after us, to say the least. And you just pick it up this time of year, because I think that when you get to conference play, you know each other so well. Nobody likes each other at all, and the rivalries have come from the prior games that you've already played. And
a lot of history there.
SEMO won the championship 2 years ago. We won it last year, and we're kind of used to this, starting the season on the road in conference play. We've never had anything but that.
Really?
Every year, every game since we've been here, we've been on the road for the first conference game, and we've been pretty successful. So hopefully we'll get off to a good start this Saturday.
And, Coach, we'll talk more about SEMO a little bit later in the show, but we want to talk about how the Golden Eagles wrapped up the preseason of sorts after taking on Hampton and North Greenville. The Golden Eagles went to Eugene, Oregon, and took on the Mighty Ducks of Oregon University, the team that at that time was ranked number 4 in the nation. And I guess the pollsters respected them a little bit because they moved them up to number 3 in the polls after they beat us. But, Coach, it was a good trip. I know it's one of those games where it is a money game. You do get a check, but it's a good experience too. Your thoughts on the game?
Well, it was a fantastic atmosphere. We had a lot of kids that hadn't even flown before, that they went through that. I said at the luncheon again today, buddy, last year when we went to Iowa, we took 6 guys that had not played in a BCS game. This year when we went to Oregon, we took 31 guys that had not played in a BCS game. So think about what they got out of it, how much they learned. That's the best team I've played in quite a while. Played a lot of BCS opponents. That's the best one I've played. We'll see how the season falls out, but talent-wise, I thought Oregon was better than Arkansas, better than TCU, better than Georgia, better than Alabama, all the ones I played at UAB through the times. And that was a really good football team, and proud of our kids. We smacked them.
Yeah.
They smacked us back, and we had to get up and try to hit them again, and we're very sore from the game, but at the same time, I think we got what we needed out of it if we just come out of it with enough health to get to the next game.
Yeah. Well, for a couple of minutes at least, the Golden Eagles gave the Ducks something to quack about as we check out the first half highlights brought to you by TTUsports.com. Like you said, Coach, it was a packed house at Autzen Stadium. Great atmosphere for college football. It was a beautiful Saturday, and you get stopped on your first series. Chad's and Cheney punts. The ball takes a weird bounce. It hits DeAnthony Thomas after they looked at the replay, and there's Kedrick Tolles to recover.
Well, Chad has got a very good pooch kick, and we used the pooch kick a bunch in the game because we didn't want him to return the ball. When we were into the wind, it worked very well, but when we were with the wind, the pooch kick was going too far, and that's how he got to return kicks. But we get the fumble here, run our double screen to where we don't know if it's going to the right or the left, and it's thrown to Derrick and make nice blocks on the play, and then Derrick dodges the last guy to get us a big score, and a little moral victory here to have the lead 7-0. I think a bunch of our fans took a picture of the scoreboard real quick before it got any worse. But you like those uniforms?
I love those uniforms. We'll talk. They look good.
They were pretty neat a little bit too, but it didn't take Oregon long to come back and get one down the field on us.
They did come back. 1-yard run by Kenyon Barner, tied at 7-7. Then with Oregon leading 21-7, Marcus Mariota sacked by Marcus Edwards. Good to see Marcus Edwards putting a pass rush there.
Yes, we've got to be a better pass rush team. We have worked so hard on it here in this preseason in these first 3 games, and hopefully we'll go to SEMO and be better. Great interception by Howard Griffin. Well played by Howard. He did what he's supposed to do. Tredarius Goff with his second big block in his TTU history, and he had the big one at Eastern Kentucky last year that I'm not sure won the game. He busted through here and made a beautiful play and took 3 points away from him.
Yeah, Oregon with the 25-yard field goal attempt But the Ducks come right back. DeAnthony Thomas, boy, he was so fast and so good. Oregon scores right there before the end of the half, and your team had done such a good job of fighting. Had some opportunities, earlier in the second quarter where you stopped them on fourth down. You were looking to, maybe cut it to from 21-7 to 21-14. But I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good football team.
That's not a pretty good football team. That's a great football team and great talented football team. We'll see how they play it out, but. There were a lot of good things through the game that really are not shown in a 63-14 game.
Sure.
I mean, the fourth down stop, the couple of 3 turnovers we had some nice offensive plays. We just couldn't put anything together, buddy, and get any consistency out of it. But a lot of really good things in the game, and I think there's a lot of things we can take from the game and take it to SEMO this week with a little confidence with it.
Well, I know one of the things that we heard so much about Oregon was in the first 2 games they'd outscored their opponents, 85 to something. So they were looking to come back and make a complete game. They certainly wasn't going to take Tennessee Tech lightly.
Didn't.
So they came out in the second half probably with a little more fire than they've had in the first 2 games. However, the Golden Eagles did get on the scoreboard again as we take a look at the second half highlights brought to you by Miller Lite. Oregon comes out quickly in the second half. Mariota, big game, throws it to Keenan Lowe, 3-yard touchdown pass, 42-7 Oregon.
Buddy, you just can't give him that much time.
Yeah.
You can't cover everybody that long. He's just standing back there and could throw anywhere he wanted to go. And here was poor Darian's first college pass for the year, and it's an interception that he stepped out of bounds right there, or it would have been a touchdown. And he just threw a bullet to Derrick.
Yeah.
Superman couldn't have caught that ball. I'm telling you, that was a tough one to try to get. And then they take it on in and score. And we can't have those turnovers when we go to SEMO. We had 2 big turnovers that gave up 14 points in the game.
Taylor Hennigan making his start for an injured Marty Jones, comes up with an interception there.
And was very well played, did what he was supposed to do, did exactly what he was supposed to do, and then made a nice play on the ball.
On 3rd and 1, Adam Urbano cuts it to the outside, shows he's got some speed.
Adam's a good player. We couldn't get him going much Saturday. Stephen Bush got more opportunities because when Stephen kind of went in late in the game, they finally put their 2 defense in, and we moved it better. This drive was the first series they had their 2nd defense in the game, and we took it down the field and scored. Darian
Stone with his first touchdown pass of his career to Doug Page. First touchdown catch of his career, and boy, scary moment there. Bennett goes in, Brian Bennett for a 6-yard touchdown. Lands on his head. That made the highlight reels on ESPN, but ball popped out. He was ruled down. And then in the 4th quarter, Byron Marshall finishes off the scoring for Oregon. 63-14 is the final, and like you said, Coach, you look at the scoreboard, but there are some positive things to definitely take out of this football game.
A whole lot, and we've gone through a lot of them. And the second thing, buddy, I mean, this team had Arkansas State 50-3 with 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the half. So we played them better in a lot of ways than maybe the first 2 teams did. Fresno played them, I guess, the best, and then but I thought we played with them other than what I call playing with them.
Yeah.
For an FCS opponent taking on the number 4 team in the country, I thought we hung in there pretty good with them for quite a while. And it wasn't just they wore us down, they big played us, and they're just so fast. And you get one of those guys in space and you miss one tackle, you're chasing for the rest of till he scores. And that happened quite a few times in the game.
And it got pretty loud in that stadium. Roger and I were doing the radio broadcast, and there were times when, that crowd was so loud it was even hard to hear with the headsets on. But I did enjoy, though, after Derrick Rogers takes that touchdown in, the crowd got pretty quiet.
Yeah, that's why I said take the pictures while we got it. But it was loud. We did not have an illegal procedure in the game with that. That was another positive to me with our offensive line. We did not jump offsides one time in the whole ball game. And there are good things that we can take to SEMO. We must take those good things now and prepare for our first conference game.
A lot of other action going on in the Ohio Valley Conference as we check out the OVC scoreboard. There you see UT Martin picking up another big win. They beat Southeastern Louisiana 23-6. And in double overtime, it was Illinois State over Eastern Illinois 55-54. What about that, Coach?
Well, they're scoring points right now. The thing you're noticing about Eastern Illinois, they're giving up points, but they've brought the 3rd team in to do the fast-paced stuff in our league. It's us and Murray, and now we've added a 3rd one. And the more that do that, the harder it is for your team to catch somebody off guard because everybody now is going to be playing it more and more times. But I think they're doing a good job offensively.
And Illinois State was ranked 15th in FCS. First OVC action for Austin and TSU. TSU improves to 3-0, 1-0 in the conference with a 34-14 victory over the Governors. And it was Murray State over Missouri State, 28-24.
That's a good win. Missouri State's a good team, and I thought there was a chance that Missouri State would get them, to be very honest. So Murray got a big win because they were 0-2 and they needed to get going a little bit. So that's a big win for them.
Yeah, elsewhere in the OVC, it was SEMO losing to Southern Illinois 35-14, but it was Eastern Kentucky beating Coastal Carolina.
And Eastern Kentucky needed a win, and that's a good team. That's a good team that Eastern Kentucky played, and that was a nice win for those guys. And Southeast Missouri was playing their rival that they beat last year, so they had to go into the den of Southern Illinois. And I promise you they were more ready for them this year after SEMO upset them last year.
And just one team now undefeated in the Ohio Valley Conference, TSU at 3-0, Tennessee Tech, UT Martin, Eastern Kentucky all at 2-1. Everybody jumping into conference play this week. Jacksonville State had an open date.
Yeah, we only had one conference game so far, and that was TSU and Austin Peay last week. That was a much closer game than 34-14. They scored, I think, 20 points in the fourth quarter of that game to win it. And Austin Peay was ahead at the half, 14-10. So it's everything I thought was coming to be. This league's better than it was a year ago. There's 4 or 5, maybe 6 teams that could win it. And who stays the healthiest, who plays the best, who wins the close games is going to be a champion again this year.
It is now time for our Golden Eagle Player Profile, brought to you by the TTU Athletics Association. This week we learn more about defensive back Caleb Mitchell. Let's take a look.
When I started playing football, I was in 7th grade. And I didn't even know how to put my pads in, so I had to go home and ask my dad how to put my pads in. So yeah, he kind of got me started, him and my friends. Best advice I've ever received would probably be to don't quit, because there's been many times and stressful times when it's been hard and tough. You just got to tough it out, and I've never been a big fan of quitting anything, so I try to finish through. One moment last year's season that I won't forget is probably when Jake McIntosh, no hands, we call him no hands, he never gets an interception. And he got an interception to seal the deal in 2 games, 2 big games, one to win our championship and then one against UT Martin. And he laid there on the ball on his stomach and just kind of cried. It was awesome. So I was so happy for him. Winning the OVC last year meant the world to me, because in high school I went to the state championship game 3 years in a row and lost every one of them just by a touchdown probably, and I've wanted a ring for so long, and just putting in the work out of those 4 years here, it meant a lot. What's special about Tech is I made a ton of new friends, I met my wife here, got a blessing with a new child now, and I won my first championship, and it means a lot to me. My motivation to play just comes from my determination not to lose. I'm just a player that don't like to give up or lose at anything, so I want to be the best. That's my motivation. Watson Brown is the greatest to me, I guess, because I've never had a coach as good as him. So, but yes, he's very much a great coach. From Caleb Mitchell.
And Coach, I'm sure you're going to miss him when he's gone.
Oh, geez. First of all, as a person, everyone we're doing have been class act kids and just handle themselves so well. And he represents Tennessee Tech as well as you'd want. And he's a football player. He's made a lot of plays at Tennessee Tech in his time, and he was one of those, again, that had to play when he was a freshman. And he got run over a few times and got beat deep a few times. But I'm telling you, last year when we had Caleb to the field and Richmond to the boundary, we were a very good corner team. And now Bill Dillard's had to come in and be a young guy playing with Caleb, and Caleb has played very well in the first 2 games. I'm very proud of him.
And he can do so many things. I mean, he's returned punts, and he's just one of those versatile type players.
He's probably our most secure punt guy. He'll catch everything. He's smart back there. He knows what to do with it. He is Also a guy that can play boundary or field corner. He played free safety here in his early years, so he's played a lot of positions. Just a great athlete. We knew when we got Caleb, he nearly went to Alabama.
Really?
They had talked to him about gray shirting him first, and then they didn't do that, and then he was thinking about, well, do I walk on there? And then he signed with us late. We didn't think we were going to get him, so we're proud that he's here, I'll tell you that.
Well, bumps, bruises, and injuries are all a part of football, and fortunately, TTU has an outstanding training staff to help the student athletes as we go inside Golden Eagle football, brought to you by Mid-State Sports Medicine.
Tell us what it takes to manage a staff to take care of these 100-plus football players on a daily basis.
Well, there's a lot of young men and young women out here that help us on a day-to-day basis. We've got some work studies that come in, a couple graduate assistants that we have provided. It's a long day, to be very honest with you. I mean, we get here very early and we're the last ones to leave usually.
All right, and talk a little bit about people that are outside the university that don't work for Tech but still help you out with the football program.
We have several consultants that we work with. One of the most important people is our team physician, Dr. Richard Williams. He's with Mid-State Sports Medicine, and he does an outstanding job for us. He gives a lot of his time, and he does this just because he wants to be involved. He's not compensated for this. He just gives his time. He'll travel with us as far as football. He'll be at the games. His office staff and himself are very accommodating to not just our football program, but to our entire athletic program here at Tech. So we have a very good relationship with our team physician, and he's very, very vital to our programs. And we have several others in the community that help us as well. But Dr. Williams is our university team physician and overall, and he does a very good job for us.
With Mike Brown, graduate assistant trainer for Tennessee Tech Athletics. Mike, tell us exactly what your role is with the football team as far as training goes.
As far as training goes, my basic responsibilities are making sure that these guys are 100% healthy every single day in and out of practice, whether that's rehab, treatments every day, taping before practice, during meetings and stuff like that. During practice, we make sure these guys are properly hydrated, carry around water bottles all day, and just try to keep these guys healthy so they can play well on Saturdays.
And we saw you taping some guys earlier. How much tape do you have to go through per guy?
Per guy, it's anywhere from half roll to a full roll. One of our offensive linemen, I use a roll, per ankle, and then, a full roll for both wrists. So, you're looking at 3 rolls right there. That's 45 yards of tape. And, if you just want to take that for 110 guys, we probably tape at least 60 of them, and that's a whole lot of tape we go through.
They've had a nice little run. Joe needs a raise. We'll talk to Mark about that and help him. And we're pretty banged up this week, so they got their hands full to get this team ready to go to SEMO, and we hope Joe can get every one of them back.
And it is very important to have a good training staff.
Oh, it's very important. College football is all about injury, prevention of injury, and then how quick can you get them back when they do get hurt. I mean, there's so much involved through Chip Pugh with the prevention, through Joe with prevention, then the rehab, which Chip has something to do with, and Joe. It's a process, and our guys do a great job.
Yeah. Well, it's time now to get down and dirty with the Golden Eagles softball team as we check out TTU athletes in the community, brought to you by Pepsi.
Here with Tori Gentili from the softball team. Tori, tell us about the mud run today, the fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, it was great fun. Like, we all broke off into little teams. It was just the whole softball team going through, doing some obstacles in the mud, running a 5K. It's pretty fun.
Did we just go under?
And
a little dirty.
What was the purpose of all of this today?
For Habitat for Humanity. Just, good for the community, trying to raise some money.
How's this help you with team building?
Team building, you know, just going through the obstacles, you know, encouraging each other, especially like the rope wall. Just like some girls got really freaked out and just like telling each other we can get through this, we can do this together as a team. We just all like stayed together as like a pack, you know, going through the mud, helping each other out. It was a lot of fun.
Coach, looks like they had a lot of fun.
Looks like my backyard right now. Right? We can
have our own mud run.
I think that would be a blast. And I didn't see Tori. Where was he?
Yeah, where was Tori?
I mean, why isn't he slapping down in there and swimming around a little bit? Tori's fantastic. He's great with his girls and is a great softball coach. We're very lucky to have him here, in my opinion.
Well, if you have a question for Coach Brown, all you have to do is get on Twitter and tweet at TTU Golden Eagles. And guess what? They come out right here. It's magic. It's magic. It just.
I'm glad you make the magic,
it's magic. See, look at that. There you go.
That would be
question.
me.
Yeah.
That would be me right there.
All right, Coach. Who got hurt and how bad is it?
Well, we've got probably 8 to 10 guys that are banged up that are questionable for the game, but would like to think that most of those could get back. But no use to go through the long dissertation of it. But you play somebody like that, you're going to get banged around, and we hit them, and they hit us back, and we had to get off the ground and go again. And from DBs to linebackers to and we've got a lot of banged up guys. I do think most of them can get back, so I think we'll be okay.
Coach, one fan says he likes the new uniforms and the helmets. Are you going to wear them again this year?
Yeah, I think so. We might talk about it today. I'm not sure. We'll wear the helmet at homecoming because that's honoring the 72 team. And we'll try to, our uniform will try to match what they wore back in the 70s a little bit. And then I'm not sure we won't wear the road uniform at TSU. They wear a white helmet, so it would be a good contrast for us to have a different color helmet. So you'll probably see them again on the road at TSU.
Yeah, I thought they looked good. I thought they looked better than Oregon's, but that's just my opinion.
You're a little prejudiced.
Yeah, I'm a little prejudiced. What about Bud Golden? You know, we know he didn't make the trip to Oregon. What's his status?
I don't know. As of when we taped this, he did not do anything again Sunday. So we'll just wait and see Tuesday if he can get out there and do anything. It's those high ankle sprains, and it's just wait to see when when they start getting better, they get better, and he goes pretty quick. But so far, he's not even been able to jog.
Yeah. One question here says, last year you said the OVC winner might have 2 losses, and it was true. Going into the OVC schedule, what's it look like this year? Do you think that's a possibility again?
I absolutely do. I'm not sure that we will have an undefeated team that wins the championship, and that's why we've got to jump into this, buddy. And if you're 6-2 at the end, it doesn't matter if you lost the first 2 and won 6 in a row, or if you did like we did last year and won 3 or 4 in a row, then lose 1, then lose another. You just got to play, and we can't let the one game be the championship Saturday. We got to go try to win the game. If we don't, we'll come back and win the next week or whatever. But we sure would be nice to get off to a good start and get that 1-0. And you sure don't like losing the first game at home that you play. And so there's pressure on SEMO just like there is us.
Yeah. Speaking of Southeast Missouri, that's where Tennessee Tech heads this Saturday, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. The Golden Eagles lead 12-8 in that series. Coach, you've beaten them every time except one. 2 years ago, we go to Cape Girardeau, lose a heartbreaker. They go on to win the OVC. It
was the year they won it. I knew they were really good. I told our players that after the game. I was very impressed with them, and yet we fumbled on the 12-yard line going in to win that game. But they come and play us here last year, and I think that's part of this tape that's on now.
Yeah.
And that game is real tight with 2 minutes to go, and we go down and score and hold them to win the game here last year, 38-31. Every game since I've been here has been a war with these guys, and they've all been very close, and most of them have been very high scoring.
Trey Lamb had a big night against Southeast Missouri last year, completing 27 of 37 passes for 283 yards and a touchdown. Dante Gay, no longer with us, rushed for 146 yards and 2 scores. So there was a balanced offense against SEMO last year. Is that the game plan coming in this year?
It's the game plan for us every game. That's what we believe in. We think you've got to be balanced, and we've got to be able to do what they tell us to do. If they want to crowd the line and make us throw it, then we've got to be able to do that. And so we'll see. But our problems have been against these guys up to this point, stopping them.
Yeah.
They have rushed for nearly 300 yards 2 years in a row on us, and I think the fast pace is what won the game a year ago. I think they got tired against us late, but this team don't quit. They're well coached, in my opinion, and his players play very hard. This tailback right here is back, and like I said, they got 18 starters back. So this is a very good football team. We got our hands full Saturday.
Southeast Missouri opened the season at Central Michigan. They lost 38-27. They came home. They beat Mars Hill 30-18. And then, as we saw on the OVC scoreboard, they go to Southern Illinois and lose 35-14. So they're probably still looking for their identity. They're still trying to get things on track up in Cape Girardeau.
Sorry to butt in on you, but the game that impressed me was the first one. I mean, they were in the lead on a Division I team at the Division I school late third quarter, early fourth quarter, and ended up getting beat. This is a good football team. But we know that. That's the great thing about conference play. There are no surprises. We know what we're in for. We know the stadium. We know the crowd. We know the players. If so many of them are back, we know what we're going into. And we absolutely understand that if we play C football Saturday, we will lose.
Thing about you talk a little bit about defense real quickly. Your defense has come up with some turnovers in the last two ball games after not having any in the first one. That's got to be a big factor coming in.
Yeah, good point. First game, none, and then we got quite a few in the next game, and then got some Saturday against a team that hasn't been turning it over at all.
Right.
So that's a good plus. I'm see pass rush getting a little better too. That's been our Achilles heel since I've been here. We've not ever had a really good pass rush defensive football team in my time here, and I think we got a better chance to rush the passer. We just need to get SEMO in some long yardage situations. That's what we've struggled with. Then we can't. They keep the down and distance so close that we just can't ever seem to get them in that, and they stay run pass, and they're a very, very good run team.
Coach, you go to Oregon, you go to Southeast Missouri, then next week you go to Murray State. That's three pretty tough road games in a row.
Yeah, the chemistry of this schedule didn't fall great. Mark and I have talked about it. I mean, playing Oregon where we did, that's tough. You'd rather have opened with Oregon, had 2 home games, and then go. But that's the way it is. But the good thing is, buddy, if we can come out of this with a victory or two before we come home to play Jacksonville State, we could be sitting really good because you're getting some of your road. We'll only have 2 road conference games left after this little stretch. So we've got to go and win those road games. We were 4-0 on the road last year.
Yeah.
4-0 on the road last year. So let's see if that trend keeps up.
Traveled very well. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. You want to be sure to check out the Golden Eagles against Southeast Missouri on Saturday in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. You can listen to the game on Magic 98.5 with the broadcast cranking up about 5:30 p.m. And, of course, you can read all about it in the Herald Citizen. Coach, great travels. The best of luck to you. And we look forward to talking about some good things next week here on the show.
Let's get on the bus and go to SEMO. Hopefully we'll have some good things to talk about. Thanks,
all right.
buddy.
For Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown, I'm Buddy Pearson. We'll see you next week right here on The Watson Brown Show.
The Watson Brown Show has been brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry, Miller Lite, Mid-State Sports Medicine, and Pepsi.